Well, good afternoon, folks. We are finally back for Solano Baseball. I'm Zach Pop here with Greg Pop, Solano College Sports Network. First pitch, fastball right down the middle, Ryan Anderson. Go ahead and tell us a little about Ryan Anderson here, sir.
Ryan Anderson, the horse of this staff, and Solano winning that thrilling 20-inning, 6-4 game over DVC. You look at this series, 10 innings yesterday, 3-3 tie. Another 10 innings today. We can't even get to this game until almost 3:30 in the afternoon, but Solano comes away with the W.
0-2 fastball right down the middle, strike three. Looking, Cameron rolling the leadoff guy. First victim for Ryan Anderson. And Ryan Anderson, the horse of this Falcons pitching staff. 5 complete games as a true freshman last year, and really the one guy Stover can depend on this year. His hands full against a very, very talented DVC squad as Ryan Cochin checks into the batter's box. The sophomore third baseman takes first pitch, strike one.
Boy, and Zach, how exciting is it to be here at Billy and Louise Yarborough Stadium for our 7th year of Solano baseball.
The 0-1 way outside and low, so the count now 1-1, and Ryan Cochin, one of the returning sophomores on this DVC squad, batted .300 right on the dot last season. 1-1 right at the knee, strike two. And Ryan Anderson, the perfect guy to have going for you after a 20-inning game that took the better part of 2 days. Ryan Anderson, a guy that can really save your bullpen.
Yeah, how's that a start to your season? 20 innings to get your first win and a hard-fought win over a very tough Diablo Valley Viking squad. These two teams get together, always going to be competitive baseball.
The 2-2 from the sophomore righty, swing and a miss on the fastball a little late. So 2 up, 2 down, 2 strikeouts for Ryan Anderson.
Ryan Anderson with the big strikeout there. Of course, last year had 55 strikeouts to just 13 walks. And Zach, remember when we interviewed him right before the start of the season, he wanted to do even better on that strike-walk ratio. Ryan Anderson, excellent control, and he likes to work quickly.
First pitch to Mike Mann, the right fielder, strike one. And the one thing with Anderson, he's kind of like Cliff Lee, doesn't take much time in between pitches, works fast. 0-1, low, count now 1-1 to Mike Mann.
So the game was actually scheduled to start at 1 o'clock, now the 3:33 start time, and it'll be tough, Zach, to get 9 innings in before darkness takes effect here. Another big pitch by Anderson there. He's bringing the heat right off the bat.
The sophomore man down in the count, 1-2, and last year as a freshman batted .300 with 13 RBIs. DVC made it all the way to the Super Regionals last year. Swing and a miss, so a 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Anderson. Fans, all 3 strikes out the side, so after the top half of the first, no score. So a little bit of a scramble here. We got the Solano lineups ready to go. The 20-inning game had a ton of changes. So right before this game started, Solano made some changes to the lineup. The new leadoff man, Jordan Tolbert, number 17, and a very talented freshman for the Falcons out of Vacaville High.
Yeah, Tolbert expected to split playing time in center field with Gio Torres. Younger brother Christian Torres, who played at Solano a couple years ago. Always remember Christian Torres when it comes to DVC.
That was this one towards the Falcons dugout and on the hill for the DVC Vikings. The 6'1", 185-pound lefty, Ronnie LeCoeur, the freshman out of Northgate High.
These two teams have met in the playoffs in round 1, 2008-2010.
And Tolbert able to check his swing just barely. So the count now even at 2-2.
And I always remember that series in 2010, game tied 1-1. Solano chance in the bottom of the ninth to tie it. Christian Torres thrown out at the plate, ended the Falcon season that year.
Tolbert hits this one weakly to first. Good job by the pitcher to come over, but that is a bad throw by the Vikings' best player, the first baseman, Devin Alexander. And that's a play where you just got to let the second baseman field that ball and let the first baseman, Alexander, scamper back over to first.
And Tolbert makes it tough because he's got that speed. Coach Scott Stover of the Solano Falcons says that Tolbert may be the fastest guy on the team, and that just puts a lot of pressure on the defense. And so the speed of Tolbert able to get on base. Falcons have their first base runner on board.
And this is where you'll see Stover he might go hit and run here, but usually Solano likes to play a little bit of small ball, so expect Zach Wells, a preseason All-American, to lay down the bunt, and that's the thing Stover expects out of his guys. He doesn't care if you're batting .390, you're in for pop. If you need to get a runner into scoring position here early in the first, he's going to get the bunt down, and Zach Wells, arguably one of the better players in the Bay Valley Conference.
As you said, Zach Wells, just an excellent bunter and just a solid all-around baseball player.
The 1-0, Wells gets the bunt down perfectly down the first base side.
That's trouble, baby.
Nice play by the pitcher, but threw the first baseman Alexander off the bag as LeCoeur's little toss to first drew him off the bag. So the Falcons have runners on first and second with nobody out here in the bottom half of the first with their best power hitter coming up, Alex Crosby.
Yeah, Alex Crosby, very solid yesterday, had a base hit. And Crosby, he's going to be a guy the Falcons depend on to have some pop in his bat and be able to get the ball in the gaps and drive in a lot of runs.
Crosby led the Falcons with 30 runs batted in last year. Gets the bunt down the third base side and foul.
Alex Crosby at a Will C. Wood High School, excellent athlete. Very good wide receiver in his days with the Wildcats, better baseball player, 2-year starter here for the Falcons, and that's something we'll say about a lot of these players for the Falcons. Last year, freshman-dominated team, but hopefully all that experience is going to pay off for the Falcons. 285 games of experience for the squad this year.
Crosby pulls the bunt back, way outside, count now 1-1.
You look at Diablo Valley College this year, a lot of freshmen. Their returners only 140 games with experience. So certainly when you look at Solano, so many freshmen returning should be a solid team fundamentally just because of the experience in playing under Stover for 2 years.
Crosby lays off the 1-1, pulls the bunt back, low, count now 2-1. And the one thing Stover was very excited about coming into this season is every kid he wanted, Solano basically got. That includes third baseman Tucker Bishop. He's batting in the 5-hole here today. Crosby lays off the 2-1 low, so count now 3-1. So maybe Stover might pull a 3-1 hit and run upcoming right here. Maybe probably get a nice pitch to hit.
And you mentioned Tucker Bishop, the number 5 hitter, the freshman out of Benicia, big-time player for this team, already made his impact felt in yesterday's game. First inning, drove in a run for the Falcons.
Crosby gets the bunt down, but foul down the third base side, so the count's full.
And you talk about the experience, you look at Crosby and you look at Zach Wells coming back to first. Both these kids played in every game last year, all 36 games for the Falcons as freshmen. So a ton of experience in the 2-spot and the 3-spot in the lineup for the Falcons.
Tolbert at second. Zach Wells over at first. Wells reached on the air on the pitcher, LeCoeur. 3-2. Fastball outside, so the Falcons have the bases loaded with nobody out here in the first inning.
So Ronnie LeCoeur, the freshman, getting his first community college start, struggling just a bit here. Bases jammed here in the first inning.
And the hero from game one, Justin Quillayton, stepping up in the box, hit a home run in the top of the 20th inning to give the Falcons a 5-4 lead. Crosby tacked on another. Falcons won the first game 6-4.
And you look at that 20-inning game, especially for junior college baseball, that was a pretty well-played game. Yeah, there were a few walks and a few errors by both teams, but you really saw a lot of big moments in those 20 innings and a lot of kids on both sides making big plays early in the season. I think both coaches have to come away from that game pretty happy with the effort of their ball clubs.
Especially the way DVC battled back in the 12th. First pitch to Clayton, fouled out of play just over our heads, so the count 0-1.
Yeah, you got to like the heart and grit you see with the Vikings. 3 times they were down by a run in that game. 3 times they were able to come back and tie it in their bottom half. DVC, and we know this from playing DVC in the past, they're always going to play hard, very competitive program.
Clayton helps out. Ronnie LeCoeur there swings at a pitch in the dirt. So the count 0-2, and a strikeout right here would be huge for the DVC Vikings. And DVC is kind of not dominated, but they've had Solano's number over the last 3+ years. They're 6-4 in the last 10 against Solano, including the loss earlier today. They split the series last year, 1-1. The 0-2 way outside, so the count 1-2. In 2011, DVC swept Solano 2-0. In 2010, these two teams met in the playoffs. DVC got the best of Solano. They won 2 out of the 3 to advance.
And they also met in 2008 in round 1, and Solano won that
hit
one.
Up the middle.
Ooh!
Nice attempt by the second baseman for DVC, but he could not throw that one to the shortstop. So that's going to tack on a run for Solano as everyone advances 90 feet.
Yeah, that was Michael Leitner, the second baseman, trying to get over there. Keeps it from getting into the outfield, but just can't quite make the play. And Solano on the board. They scored in the first inning yesterday to take a 1-0 lead. Of course, they were the visiting team yesterday. Now the home team take another 1-run lead here in the bottom of the first, and base is still full. Nobody up, and Tucker Bishop facing LaCour.
Bases loaded. This one's in the dirt. Pops straight up. Everyone's going to advance 90 feet. Falcons now up 2-0 after the, I'm going to label that one a wild pitch in the dirt. Tough play for the catcher to make.
Yeah, that looked like it hit about 2 feet in front of home plate and then really took a weird bounce and just bounced over the head of the catcher. Kind of interesting, Zach, too. You look at the matchup here between LaCour and Tucker Bishop. We were sitting right on top of the DVC dugout. We hear a lot of the chatter.
And now with first base open, probably not going to see him challenge Tucker Bishop right here with 2 runners in scoring position.
But Tucker Bishop had made an error in that first game, and we heard Ronnie LaCour saying stuff about Tucker Bishop. Well, now he's got Bishop. He's got to face him with the bases jammed here in the first.
2-0, high, count 3-0.
So Ronnie LaCour, the freshman, as expected with most freshmen, getting used to community college baseball. Taking a while to settle down here. Michael Bedard, the shortstop, comes in. Some words of encouragement to the young freshman, and needs to make a pitch here.
I mean, not the worst things if you walk Bishop with first base open. The kid batted better than 370 3 straight years at Benicia. 3-0 low, so 4-pitch walk to Bishop. Bases loaded, still nobody out. Falcons up 2-0 here in the bottom of the first, just getting started. How happy is Ryan Anderson in the dugout right now?
He's really happy, especially how fast he worked in that first inning. And we've seen Ryan Anderson before. Typically pitches on Saturdays for the Falcons, and I know that's what Scott Stover wants to do with his horse from Fairfield. He'll be the Saturday pitcher. And Solano goes 4 weeks into the season before they play more than 2 games in a week. So we'll see Anderson and probably Anthony Pizzoloff after that excellent outing yesterday.
So Spini up, bases loaded, nobody out. And he was the one guy with some pop last year in the Falcons lineup. Had 2 of the 3 home runs that the team hit last year. Only played in 16 games. Broke his wrist playing first base in the 3rd conference game, I believe. Count now 1-1.
Nice Saturday afternoon in February.
Spini hits this one right to the first baseman. He goes home, low throw. Nice job by Luke Van Holten, but his foot was never on the bag, so that is another run on the board for Solano.
Boy, and we saw excellent play behind the plate with Michael Leal, the starting catcher for DVC, who probably would be starting in this game if he didn't have to play another 10 innings today to finish up that first game after 10 behind the plate yesterday.
And it's the same thing with Solano. Aaron Brasher not in today's lineup. There's just no way you can, he just caught another 9 innings today. Game started in the 11th here as they resume play.
And, we got here about 12 o'clock getting everything set up for our broadcast. We actually had the lineups all set, as you mentioned before, and then a lot of changes and scratches before this one.
This one hit weakly to right. Easy play. He's throwing this one home, and we got to play at home, and an excellent slide by JQ, Justin Quillayton, under the tag.
And that was a beautiful throw from Michael Mann, right on the money, but excellent slide by JQ, just getting his hand, touches the bag, gets under the tag, and Solano got another run on the board, 4-0 Falcons, and we're not even out of the bottom of the first here.
Danny Mills stepping up, and he wasn't originally in today's lineup, but as you mentioned, went 20 innings, so Stover had to make some adjustments. Danny Mills gets a start at short as David Fernandez gets this game off. Might see him later in a pinch hitting role.
Danny Mills' big hit yesterday, top of the 6th inning, right after DVC had put 2 on the board to take a 2-1 lead. Danny Mills with 2 outs, big base hit, gets 2 runs across and enabled the Falcons to take a 3-2 lead. DVC tied it up in the bottom of the 8th and ended up going 20 innings before we could get to the end of that one.
Smokes this one right at the shortstop. Mike Bradar throws to second, gets the lead runner at second. So runners now on the corners.
And Danny Mills, pretty good speed, although I think with a better throw from Badar over to the second baseman, Latner might have had a chance to at least turn and make the throw, but that throw was just too low for Latner to do anything with it at second base.
And a good job by Bradar. Looked over at third, made sure Tucker Bishop wasn't trying to score there, and then got the lead runner at second. First pitch inside. Get a look at
Big Eric Olson,
one of the backup catchers from Benicia High, 225.
Real nice kid, backup catcher, always smile on his face, look like he's always happy to be out on the ball field. And Coach Stover, good job this year bringing in some talented freshmen to go with that experienced team that he has coming back from last year.
Pops this one up a mile high. And this one just out of reach of the third baseman, Ryan Cochin, who gave it a chance. And talking about Stover, a good recruiting class. And you got to look at DVC with Dennis LeQuay, his first year coaching, spent 15 years at Deer Valley. And you look at DVC's roster, a lot of talented guys from Deer Valley squad. Last year, they were ranked number 11 in all of California in high school baseball. And LeQuay led that team to the playoffs 14 of the 15 years. He was the head coach at Deer Valley, won the North Coast section title in 2003, and won 5 Bay Valley Athletic League championships while he was at Deer Valley.
Boy, it looks like he kind of brought half the team from Deer Valley last year with him over to DVC. That's going to make it nice for him in his first year.
1-1 high and inside to Olson.
And it's been nice sitting here on the top of the dugout, get to hear, as we said before, a lot of what goes on in the dugout. And I've been impressed with Dennis LeQuay and just the way he's been working these kids in their first game.
Yeah, he got on him a bit in the 14th or 15th inning. DVC had the winning run at second base, and he's a little upset that there was more chirping coming in from the dugout. And this one, chopper to third. Nice throw by Cochin to finally end the inning. A little bit of defensive woes for DVC. 2 errors in the inning. Falcons tack on 4-0 after 1. So, on top of the second, DVC will send up the 4, 5, and 6 batters here. Ryan Anderson struck out the side in the first on 13 pitches. This one smoked down the left field line. Torres gets to it quickly, and that's going to be a long single for Devin Alexander. And Alexander, one of the better players in all of Northern California.
And I thought Coach Stover did an excellent job in that first game, that marathon game against DVC, by never letting Alexander get in a position where he could do some damage. When he did come up with runners in scoring position, they pitched around him. One time, I remember in one of the late innings, though, they did go after him. He smoked one, but right to the center fielder,
and that
Jordan
could have been the
Talbot.
game right there if that one drops. Fastball inside corner, strike 1 to Mike Bradar, the sophomore shortstop.
Michael Badar, a couple big hits in yesterday's game, 9th and 10th inning, gave DVC a chance to possibly end that game early, but couldn't get him home.
0-1, little outside, so the count now 1-1. And really DVC's bread and butter in the lineup is the 4 and 5 guys with Alexander and now Mike Bradar. The 2 sophomores returning, a lot of pop in their bats. Alexander standing at first, finished second in the Big 8 with a .364 average. This one hit right to Wells in right. So 1 down now here in the top of the second.
Zach Wells just is going to be a fixture in right field for the Falcons all year. Played really well yesterday, made a lot of nice catches, and what Wells does, he gets such a good jump on the ball, he makes playing the outfield look easy because he's always there in time to make a difficult play look rather routine.
Anderson comes with the first pitch fastball, a little high, maybe a little inside, so the count 1-0.
So Luke Van Holten, backup catcher, getting a chance to get in the lineup. Boy, not very big for a catcher, is he, Zach?
And of course, Michael Leal would have been the catcher. Close play at first on the pickoff attempt, but Alexander gets his hands back in safely.
Luke Van Holten, he's listed at 5'11", 180. That can't be right. Looks about maybe 5'8", 5'9", about a $150, $155.
This one smoked right to Wells and right, drops in front, and then takes a tricky hop, gets past Wells, going to go all the way to the fence. Alexander's going to score easily, round in third. Van Holten's going to scamper into third, so that one will go down as a single, and then an E9 on Wells as that one went right by him, took a tricky hop.
And really tough play for Wells. Not much he could do with that. It looked like it hit something in the grass and just took a weird bounce. He was actually running over towards his right. Ball took a weird hop to the left and went by him all the way to the fence. And so DVC trying to get right back in this, run on the board here in the second.
Nick Aveo steps in, takes the first pitch off speed for strike one.
So 2 hits here by DVC, sandwich around the fly ball out to right field by Bedar.
0-1, a little low. And Nick Aveo was the guy that came around to score the tying run in the 12th inning to keep this one going all the way to 20 when he tied it up 4-4 on the errant throw from Nick Driscoll.
Yeah, looked like Zach Wells might be the early hero in that game.
My mistake was Nick Altman who had the bad throw, I believe.
Zach Wells drove in a run, I think it was in the top of the 12th to give Solano a 4-3 lead, but DVC came back in the bottom half and tied it up.
2-1, little low, so the count now 3-1. And I know better to go with my gut. It was Nick Driscoll that made the errant throw that allowed Nick Aveo to come around and score to tie it up 4-4 in the 12th.
Pretty solid pitching performance, though, by Nick Driscoll.
High chopper, Bishop going over towards second, throws first for the 5-3 putout, but an RBI ground out for Nick Aveo, and just like that, DVC has cut the 4-0 margin in half. Now 4-2 with 2 down, nobody on in the second.
Boy, and Tucker Bishop looked smooth at third. He made a lot of nice plays yesterday. Did have an error that led to DVC scoring 2 runs in the 5th inning.
Tyler Basker, the DH, takes the first pitch for ball 1.
But the kid was just trying to make a play. Slow roller up the line, guys on first and second, tries to make the throw. He'll learn from that, put that one in your pocket.
The 1-0, fastball, catches the lower part of the plate for strike 1, so the count now 1-1. And nice answer for DVC here in the top of the second. Answer back after Solano put a 4 spot in the bottom half of the first. Perfect 1-1, broke right at the knees, inside corner, count now 1-2. And Solano really shouldn't have scored 4 runs in the bottom of the first. Bad defense really helped Solano get 4 on the board.
Bad defense. LaCour struggling with his control a little bit. Couple walks, wild pitch.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss, so Ryan Anderson gets his first strikeout in the second. 4 strikeouts on the afternoon. DVC puts 2 on the board in the top half of the second. 4-2, heading into the bottom of the second. Bottom of the second, Giovanni Torres leading off here in the bottom of the second. Then back to the top of the order with Tolbert and Wells. So a nice answer for DVC in the top half of the second. First pitch a little inside for ball 1 from Ronnie LaCour.
I didn't mind Anderson, too. He's just out there pitching, throwing the ball over. If they hit it, they hit it, but not walking guys. Good control. And that was a nasty pitch. Took a little bit off that one to get the strikeout to end the inning in the top of the second.
27 pitches, 4 strikeouts, 2 runs given up for Ryan Anderson. As this one hits Torres right on the ankle, so or my mistake. It's back to the top of the order with Tolbert, I believe.
Justin Tolbert coming up. So,
no, that's my mistake. I messed up. Torres did not lead off this inning. It was Jordan Tolbert. It's back to the top of the order.
Lot to do with all the scrambles at the start. I've got so many things crossed out. This scorebook looks messier than the one I used for the 20-inning game.
Wells shows bunt. And he got the bunt down in his first at-bat in the first. Reached on the throwing error by Ronnie LaCour, the pitcher.
And once again, Tolbert put on base by DVC. Error in the first inning, hit by pitch here.
Wells gets the bunt down. Alexander throws to second just in time. Perfect throw by the big first baseman, Devin Alexander. Guns down the lead runner for the first out.
And that took a perfect throw to get him. That was bang, bang. But DVC gets the call, gets the lead runner, and that's important, getting Tolbert off second base.
An excellent communication by DVC. You could hear the pitcher, and you could also hear the catcher yelling, second, second. Picked it up, threw a cannon right to second. Perfect throw, just beat the speedy Tolbert by a step. That pitch never broke. Wells head first slide.
Wells looked pretty quick getting down there, but kind of went into that turtle slide and took him a while to finally get to the bag, but he gets there in plenty of time. And now a little discussion going on with the home plate umpire and DVC's manager, Dennis LeQuay.
The dugout saying that Crosby didn't check his swing. Pitch was way high, and they wanted to ask the second base umpire, but he was too busy watching the play over at second, so it's going to go down as ball one. 1-0. Outside corner fastball right at the knees. Count now 1-1. Crosby reached on a single in his first at bat. Smokes this one down the first base side. Nice pickup by Alexander. Touches the bag himself. 2 down.
Two nice plays by the big Viking first baseman, Devin Alexander. We know what he can do with the bat, but boy, he's looking pretty slick with the leather there at first base. 2 nice plays by Devin Alexander, and so 2 outs now, but Solano with a runner at third. JQ hit that big home run in the top of the 20th to get the Falcons that first victory.
Smokes this one right past the diving third baseman, Ryan Cochin, and that's going to put another run on the board. Quillaton with the RBI, 2-out RBI single.
Boy, Justin Quillaton has looked solid in both games. Zach, yesterday I know you didn't see that game, but he looked solid at second base. He had 6 putouts, and a couple of them were really tough chances late in the game with guys in a position to score.
Inside to Tucker Bishop for the 1-0, and we were talking about this earlier, right, as Tucker Bishop got the final out in the 20th inning. Ronnie LaCour was a little upset how much enthusiasm he had touching the third base bag for the final out. And I don't side either way there. I mean, you can either touch the bag like you've done it before, but at the same time, it's 20th inning. You're happy it's finally over. He smokes this one. Left center. This one's going to get all the way to the gap. Quillaton round second, and he's going to come around and score easily. Tucker Bishop's got 3 on his mind. Head first slide. RBI triple for Tucker Bishop.
And Tucker Bishop, boy, he gets excited when he gets those extra base hits. I remember yesterday in that first inning, just smoked a double in the gap and slid into second, came up hooting and hollering. This time needs to work on the slide. That head first slide was a little sloppy. He was getting a little choppy as he got to the base, but he can slide any way he wants if he's going to drive in runs with a triple.
Hey, at least he didn't go Tim Hudson on him.
That's true.
So Tucker Bishop, I mean, this the high school credentials he's had. Last year's a senior, batted .382 with 23 RBIs, 10 extra base hits, had an OPS over 1.00. So, I mean, his OPS was off the charts, had on-base percentage near .500, slugging percentage over 500, did the same thing in 2011, and did the same thing in 2010. And he was Stover's highest prize recruit coming in. I mean, one of the better players, helped Benicia win a section title.
Boy, you can see why. I think that's his 4th hit in 2 games. So the freshman, not big in stature, but a big stature with the bat. And you kind of like to see Solano come right out and answer back after giving up 2 runs in the top half of the inning, getting those 2 runs back, getting that 4-run lead. Now it's 6-2, and DVC's coach heading out to talk to Ronnie LaCour, talking to the young freshman. And so DVC played pretty fundamentally solid baseball in that first game, but boy, right off the bat, Ronnie LaCour struggling in that first inning, got through that one, gave up the 4 runs, and now having trouble getting through the second.
Well, too, I mean, he just played a 20-inning game that lasted more than 1 day, basically, and you've got 4 new position players in there that would change because that game went so long. So you got a lot of new gloves out there, and it's going to take a little bit to maybe get accustomed.
And already it's tough enough, first junior college start, and now you wait about 3.5 hours before you finally get out to the mound. More time to think about stuff, more time to deal with nerves. So let's see if the freshman can get out of this jam here.
Nick Spini hits this one down the right field line. It's going to go foul. So count now 1-1 to the sophomore DH.
Nice inside pitch by LaCour. Spini just kind of fighting that one off, hitting it off the lower part of the handle.
That's got to be tough as a pitcher. You're sitting in the dugout, and just the hours keep going by. You think the game's going to finally end as that one's way outside. Count now 2-1. And then all of a sudden you got to get composed. 20 minutes later, you got to go out and pitch. Pitching's it's a tough animal. I mean, you got to be very mentally strong. This one hit to right. This ball's carrying a little bit. And nice job by Michael Mann to get under it as that one was in the air for a mile. Falcons get the 2 runs back in the bottom half of the second, 6-2 after 2.
All set?
All right, start off the top of the 3rd. Mike Lantner, the number 9 hitter, leading off. Then back to the top of the order with Roland and Cochin. Ryan Anderson. First pitch swinging. This one's going all the way to the left field fence. Lantner is going to hold up at second, lead off double. So you can tell that DVC saw something in the first inning. Ryan Anderson likes to jump ahead of hitters, and he's going to locate that fastball first pitch. Back-to-back innings, they have smoked it to left field.
It looked like the left fielder, when he dove for that ball, he actually got stuck under the fence trying to get that thing back in. But at least Anderson's going after the batters. He's challenging them. He's going over the plate. If they hit it, he's pitching with the lead.
Comes with the first pitch fastball inside. Strike 1 to the leadoff hitter, Cameron Rowland. He went down looking in his first at-bat to start this game off. Once again, Solano won the first game 6-4 in 20 innings. Played 10 yesterday at DVC and finished the rest here. Falcons were the away team at home.
Good job by Olsen there, getting his mitt outside to keep that one from getting to the backstop and letting the runner get over to third. Nobody out here.
And this is huge for Olsen to prove to Stover he can be a dependable second catcher, to give Brasher some time off, because that was the one thing with Brasher last year. They used him a ton, kind of wore down as the season went. Still ended up batting .260, only had 2 errors as a catcher last year, and Stover's high on Brasher's defensive catching abilities, comparing him to Ryan Lipkin, Kyle Bible, of course Victor Romero, now raking at Oklahoma State.
And also they have Matt Mitchell, who can catch as well. So really 2 guys to back up Brasher.
He had a big RBI hit.
He did. He got that in.
Swing and a miss for Rowland, so he goes down for the second time this afternoon. 5 strikeouts for Ryan Anderson and 2 1/3 worth of work so far.
Yeah, Matt Mitchell actually got that insurance run with a single after JQ hit that jack in the top of the 20th inning.
Ryan Cochin swings at the first pitch, fouls it straight back. Count 0-1, and Cochin struck out in the first as Anderson struck out the side.
Yeah, you look at this Falcon squad this year, a lot more depth. Of course, first game of the year, nobody down with injuries yet. That really hurt the Falcons last year, but they got a good combination of experience and young, talented freshmen.
As coaching showed, bunt didn't get back in time, and it goes down a strike 2.
And there's an excitement around the ball team this year.
Oh, you could tell when we came in and did the player interviews. They're very ecstatic to finally get the season going. The 0-2 a little inside.
And you've got 15 guys on this roster that have been under Stover for almost 2 years now.
A 1-2, off speed. Coaching out in front, goes down for the second time. So 6 strikeouts for Ryan Anderson so far, averaged 8.5 per game last year.
And that's the second time Anderson has come in on a 2-strike count with some off-speed stuff, and both times it's worked out. Gets another batter swinging.
Anderson's doing an outstanding job. The first time around the order, a lot of fastballs. Now he's working in some more off-speed, getting the hitters off balance a bit as the first pitch is a little inside to Mike Mann.
Ryan Anderson, the tall, lanky right-hander, played his high school ball at Fairfield High School.
Mike Latner at second, scoring position. The 1-0 a little inside, and definitely got to attack Mike Mann right here with the dangerous Devin Alexander on deck.
And Ryan Anderson last year just kind of came out of nowhere early on in the season and just moved right up to the top of the pitching rotation.
2-0 fastball, high and tied inside, count 3-0, and that's what we were talking about. Ryan Anderson thought maybe he was going to be more of a bullpen guy last year. And
Aaron Hansen went down, so they lost their top starter coming back, and Anderson just kind of stepped into that role and just was outstanding all year.
3-0 fastball, strike 1.
Had 8 wins, should have had 9. I forget, it might have been Marin.
They're up 1-0, right?
They're up 1-0. Went to the top of the ninth and went to the bullpen, and no, I think it was an error by Crosby. It was a throwing error by Crosby at third. That's how he ended up at first eventually. Cost Anderson a win in that game.
3-1, just low, so now runners at first and second with 2 down. But the cleanup hitter, Devin Alexander, now up, and he smoked a single in his first at-bat down the left field side.
Yeah, this would be a nice little battle here. You got arguably one of the top pitchers in Northern California going against one of the top hitters in Northern California. This one you just want to sit back and watch. Big opportunity for DVC to climb back in this one down by 4.
Alexander takes the first pitch low for ball 1. And once again, Alexander just raked last year, finished the season batting .362, second best average in the Big 8 conference, and the Big 8 conference is the best conference in Northern California in my opinion.
Easily.
1-0, came with the curve and doesn't get the call, so the count now 2-0.
Yeah, you look at that Big 8 conference, Zach, with American River, Consumnes River, Modesto, Delta, who won the state championship just 2 years ago.
Consumnes River won last year. This one popped a mile high, foul ground, room for Crosby, and he makes the play. So that is how the top of the third ends. Leadoff double for Mike Latner, but he doesn't advance at all. He's stranded at second base, so through 2.5, Falcons on top, 6-2. Giovanni Torres. Now I finally got it right. Leading off here in the bottom of the third. Eric Olson in the 9th spot on deck. Torres with a nice cut. Fouls it straight back. Important for Ronnie LaCour to get off to a nice start here in the third. Get a shutdown inning. Falcons scored 4 in the first. 2 more in the second. Nasty curve ball from LaCour. Drops right in at the knee, so he's ahead of Torres, 0-2. And LaCour is done for the day as they got a new righty in the game, number 9, Cody Ball. Cody Ball, the freshman righty out of California High. 5'11", a $155. So the 1-2 curve in the dirt. Ronnie LaCour went 2 innings, allowed 6 runs, 4 of those runs earned. This one, high chopper to third. Cochin takes it. Strong throw to first. Torres down after the 5-3 ground out. 1 up, 1 down for Cody Ball. So the shortstop, Danny Mills, now stepping into the box. The bottom of the order due up here. Danny Mills in the 8-hole today. Swings at the first pitch, fists this one right to the shortstop, Mike Berdar. Easy play, 2 up, 2 down for Cody Ball. Cody Ball's come in and done an outstanding job here in the third. A 1-2-3 inning would be perfect for the Vikings to get their bats back up. Eric Olson finally got the number 9 hitter right. Whole bunch of melee going on right before this game. After the 20-inning game, the lineup changed a couple of times. 5 minutes before first pitch, finally the correct lineup was announced. Eric Olson, a 9-hitter. Head the count 1-0. Smokes this one right to third. Cochin muffs it. Strong throw just in time. Nice throw by Ryan Cochin. Excellent job. Cody Ball, 1-2-3 inning. Retires the 7, 8, 9 hitters in order. After 3, Falcons up 6-2. So after the quick inning from Cody Ball, Ryan Anderson back on the hill to face number 5 hitter Mike Berdar. Luke Van Holten on deck. Nick Gavello due up third in the inning. Anderson low at the first pitch, ball 1. The 1-0 bounces a foot in front of home plate. Count now 2-0 to Mike Berdar. Michael Berdar, the freshman out of the highly touted De La Salle High School. Quickly ahead on Anderson, 3-0. Taken all the way, 3-0. Fastball right at the knee, strike 1. Luke Van Holten on deck, the backup catcher. 3-1 just inside, so a leadoff walk issued by Ryan Anderson. And Ryan Anderson said the one thing he's going to work on this year, he's going to cut down on his walks. 2 walks so far for Ryan Anderson. Only had 13 walks last year and 80-plus innings.
But those do go with his 5 strikeouts this far. But you're absolutely right. He said that was the one thing he still really wanted to cut down on.
And also, too, in the second and the third inning, fastball right down the middle to start off both those at-bats. Alexander ripped a single in the second, and then Mike Leitner ripped a leadoff double in the previous inning. Luke Van Holten hit a single in his first at-bat in the second.
Boy, just kind of checking out the monitor. And Stas Samoita just doing an outstanding job on the camera for his first baseball game.
He's been killing it doing the Solano men's baseball game as the 0-1 pitch ripped right between third and short. So leadoff walk for Mike Berdar. Single for Luke Van Holten. Runners on first and second. Nobody out with Nick Gavello coming up.
Nick Gavello, the left fielder. Well, another one of those freshmen out of Deer Valley. And opportunity here for the freshmen. Again, DVC, they just keep battling, keep getting guys on, keep creating opportunities. But they need a big hit. Need a big hit here, get back in this game.
That pitch just misses, so the count 1-0. And Gavello came up huge in the first game of the doubleheader, I guess you want to call it. Scored the tying run to even it up 4-4 on the throwing error. The 1-0 a little high, so Anderson kind of losing a bit of control here and falling behind another batter.
Not much wind, something that will really pick up as we get a little later into February, March.
2-0, just takes a little off the fastball. Right down the middle, strike one.
Just a great Saturday afternoon for baseball. Opening game of the season, at least for Solano, at home here at Billy and Louise Yarborough Stadium against the Vikings.
Smokes this one right past Quilaton at second. Zach Wells comes up with it quickly and muffed it a little bit, but still runner holds at third. Bases loaded, nobody out, and I think they saw in the first game you don't want to run on Zach Wells. Made a perfect throw. Almost got Nick Gavello out in the 12th inning when he came around to tie the game. So nice job. Nobody out. Hold the runner. Bases loaded. Nobody out.
And good job by Wells keeping the ball in front of him. He kind of glanced up to see if he was going to have to make a throw. And when he did, it just trickled off his mitt, but kept the ball in front of him by keeping his body down in front and would have been able to come up throwing if the runner would have come home.
Nice off speed, breaks right in for strike one on Tyler Basker. The DH struck out to end the second inning.
Yeah, Anderson has been very strategic mixing in his off-speed pitches today.
Does it again. This one bounces foul territory. So the count 0-2, and a strikeout would be just what the doctor ordered if Anderson could get that first out.
And Tyler Basker at the plate. Played 10 games last year in his freshman campaign for the Vikings. Comes back as a sophomore. Pretty much used as a utility player. Can play some of the infield positions. May also use him in the outfield. Hit just 111 last year, but did have one home run. Actually just had one hit last year, and that was a home run RBI.
Get one hit, make it a home run, right? 0-2 just misses the outside corner. So the count now 1-2, and Tyler Basker, the sophomore, as you mentioned, from College Park High.
Anderson got him with an off-speed pitch with 2 strikes last time. Let's see if he tries it again.
Comes with it. This one poked right by the DVC dugout.
Basker, good job using his hands because he was way out in front of that, but able to just keep the bat back enough to get a piece of that and foul it off, stay alive.
Ryan Anderson, the sophomore, Fairfield High. That must have been tough for him, too, just kind of watching the dugout. It's like, when's this game going to end? I want to go pitch already. This one, fouled again. Count stays 1-2. And this is exactly what you want to do if you're DVC. You want to force Ryan Anderson, throw a ton of pitches, get him out of the game, get to the bullpen.
And Ryan Anderson right here would like nothing better than a strikeout. Get that first out, and now you got a chance to get a ground ball, get out of the inning.
1-2, challenges him with the fastball, and another good job by Tyler Basker. Fouls this one straight back, and he's starting to catch up to the fastball from Ryan Anderson.
Yeah, Basker doing a good job hanging in there. He's battling at the plate. Important at bat for the Viking.
DVC down 6-2, bases loaded. This one a weak fly ball. Center field, Tolbert gets under it. They're going to test his arm. This one picked off by Crosby and cut off by Crosby, and that's going to be actually a nice job by Bluff, and he bluffed me out.
Boy, and good job by Tolbert. And the nice thing, that ball was hit nice and high, fairly shallow, gave him plenty of time to camp underneath it, set his feet, and came up throwing. I thought the runner was going to come, but then third base coach, it looks like that's Dennis LeQuay over there, decides to hold up the runner.
I would have definitely tested Tolbert's arm.
I think I would have too.
I mean, Zach Wells is the only guy in the outfield that's got a really or above average arm. This one fouled straight back.
This first out is such a big out. Now the double play is in play, can get you out of the inning when you had bases loaded, nobody out.
And Mike Latner smoked a double in his first at-bat. Hoping to jump on another fastball here. 0-1 outside, and you can tell the DVC hitter's getting a lot more comfortable now as Anderson's, this will be the second time around the order with the number 9 hitter Latner up.
Yeah, they didn't quite know what was going on in that first inning. Just got done with that 20-gamer and get up there, and this guy's throwing BBs.
This one hit down the left field line. It's going to tell foul.
Yeah, that looked like that was going to be trouble, but just kept slicing. Kind of looked like my drive, didn't it? And ended up foul. If it was a drive, though, that'd be OB for sure, baby.
And Latner, one of the many kids from Deer Valley High that played with Dennis LeQuay.
Michael Latner, big opportunity. backs out, calls time.
Berdar standing at third, Van Holten standing at second, Nick Gavello at first. One down, 6-2 lead Solano, top of the fourth. 1-2, little low, so the count now 2-2. Nice take by Mike Latner.
Yeah, pitch just a little bit inside too, and evens things up at 2-2. Big pitch right here.
Nice take by Latner, lays off. Count full.
DVC showing a little more patience at the plate, and it's paying off for them. Really trying to get that pitch count up for the big workhorse Ryan Anderson.
(3-2), little low, so that's a run for DVC as Anderson walks in a run. Excellent at bat by Latner, fell down the count 1-2, fouled off a couple of pitches and draws the RBI walk.
Yeah, Anderson there maybe just pitching a little too carefully, and Coach Scott Stover is going to head out to the mound to talk to the big right-hander, and we'll see if he's going to leave him in the game. I suspect he will. Nobody warming up in the dugout. So he's going to go with the big righty, but this is a real important part of this game. DVC just down by 3, and
you get a look right there. Stover talking with his ace Ryan Anderson, along with the catcher Eric Olson.
So Anderson was lucky getting that first out, and DVC didn't send the runner. But that patience pays off. They get the runner across on the walk to Latner.
So back to the top of the order, Cameron Rowland. First pitch misses, so Anderson. Control was money last year, already has 3 walks in this one, and we're only in the 4th. 1-0, popped a mile
I think I
high.
got this one. Don't hit the camera.
That one stays in play right by the DVC dugout, but Olsen could not get there in time. I know our boy Stosh was on top of that one.
He was ready. He was saying, I got it. The cameraman was calling it.
I know you sure wouldn't have made the play.
No, I was just hoping it wouldn't hit me in the head.
And the home plate ump had a little chat with Stover, and he's telling all the DVC players to make sure all the gear is actually in the dugout, as Olsen couldn't make a play. And now, excellent job by the manager, McQuake, tells his players, listen, don't talk to the manager, or don't talk to the umpire, just kind of do what he says.
Yeah, not only do you have to work with these kids, teach them the fundamentals, but also have to teach them to put their stuff up.
Kids are always going to be kids, right?
They are. Just put your stuff. It's not that hard. Still not much wind, but breeze picking up just a bit, kind of blowing out towards left center field.
This one hit right up the middle, past the diving Danny Mills. 1 run is in, and they're going to hold the runner at third. As nice throw by Tolbert in center field. So another run on the board for DVC. It's 6-4. Bases still loaded, only 1 out. Cameron Rowland finally gets a piece of Ryan Anderson and hits this one right up the box.
And that's his second hit. As you said, Zach, another RBI.
Struck out.
That's right, and it's because I'm looking at the guy I crossed out when we got the new lineup cards right before the actual game. Absolutely right.
Luke Van Holten comes around to score, so 6-4, top of the 4th, only 1 out. DVC looking to tack on some more. This one smoked right at Tolbert in center, makes a nice catch. Heads up base running. Nick Gavello comes in to score from third, so just like that, 3 runs on the board here in the top of the 4th. 6-5 lead now for Solano, only up by 1 run.
I guess it was too much to expect when Anderson had that 4-0 lead, and we know how quickly he likes to work, that might get through this game in an hour and a half. Nothing doing with these Vikings as they come roaring back, just down by a run now.
First pitch strike to Mike Mann, the number 3 hitter, 0 for 1. Did reach on a walk in his last at-bat. I can tell you one thing, though. These kids are hoping this game doesn't get delayed and they got to resume play tomorrow, right? I think we got a lot of Niner fans here as this one hit weakly to left. Torres diving attempt, makes the catch. Excellent play by Torres, had a great read on the ball. That is how the top of the fourth ends, but DVC tacks on 3 runs. We got a one-run game, 6-5, going to the bottom of the fourth. So we got a new color commentator. What's up, Stosh? How's it going, man?
Pretty good, Zach. How about you?
Is that Stosh Samoyda, right?
Yes, sir.
I didn't butcher it too bad?
No, yeah, I did just right.
All right, so we're back to the top of the order with Jordan Tolbert in the box. Counts 1-1. Cody Ball still out on the hill. Came in, did a good job in the third, a 1-2-3 inning. A 1-1, a little high, so count 2-1. So you've been busy on the cam work. What's kind of impressed you here early on in the game as we're in the bottom of the fourth?
You know what, I see DVC's resiliency to keep fighting back and keep coming back. That's really keeping them in this ball game right now, because a lot of teams would give up once they're down 4-0 in the first inning. But, you know, they just keep chipping away at this lead, and they're fighting their way back. And, hey, they're only down by 1 with a lot of ball game left to play.
This one, nice cut, fouled straight back, so the count now full, 3-2. And especially, too, I mean, not just coming back after being down 4-0, but after losing a heartbreaking 20-inning game, and then to come back after falling down 4-0 after 1. This one hit weakly to third. Kocher picks it up. Strong throw, 1 up, 1 down. 4 retired in a row for Cody Ball. So Tolbert now 0 for 2. Reached on an error in the first, came around to score.
I'm also impressed by this DVC offense, by how they came out, 3 quick strikeouts from Anderson. Anderson, the workhorse, he comes at you about they're being very patient at the plate and waiting for their turn.
Zach Wells, swing and a miss, actually got a piece, so down 0-1. Yeah, I think a lot of teams kind of come in, they feel a little anxious, kind of not scared, but they know Ryan Anderson is a horse, but this team, treat him just like some second or third string starter, just kept attacking, and they're making him throw a ton of pitches, which is going to help because that's going to force Stover to have to go to his bullpen. He's already got a couple of guys warming up right now. The 1-1 from Ball. Nice curveball, nasty. Zach Wells gave up on that pitch.
Also, it was a bold move by Coach Dennis Lundquist for DVC to pull his starter so early in the game. He was struggling the first couple innings to switch over to Ball, and Ball so far is throwing lights out since he's entered this game.
Yeah, the kid from California High. 2-2, nasty curve. Wells just got a piece to stay alive.
Yeah, he's got his curveball working today, and he's keeping his batters off balance. He's not an overpowering pitcher, but when he gets his movement going, hey, he's hard to see.
As a batter, I know you played high school, you played a ton of baseball growing up. 2-2, smoked right up the box, right at the shortstop, Berdar. Strong throw to first, 2 up, 2 down. But as a hitter, would you rather face a guy that's better at locating, not overpowering, or would you feel more comfortable against a guy that's just throwing heat?
I'd rather see a guy that's locating because you're going to see a lot of strikes, so you can really wait for the opportunity to see your pitch. When you get a guy out there just throwing the ball, you got to wait and see that strike. But if he's a little wild, you might see a fastball that's up and in. It might be a little too tight for you.
Nasty curveball once again, throws Crosby.
If you see a guy, junk ball pitcher like you saw on that curveball now, read it. If he's going to throw it to your first pitch, sit back and tee off on one there.
0-1 curve, just a little outside, count 1-1. 1-1 fastball, hit the other way to left, and it's going to drop right between the shortstop Berdar and the left fielder Nick Gavello. 2-out single for Crosby, second hit of the game.
Hey, that was nice hitting by Crosby right there. You saw that ball threw him 2 straight curveballs, so you knew a fastball was coming. Saw it, read it, and just poked it up to the opposite field, get a base hit, try to get a rally started for these Falcons.
And that's the one thing that Solano's working on this year. The young team last year, a lot of freshmen, they're always trying to pull the ball. As you saw right here with Crosby, just went with the pitch, just poked it into opposite field. Justin Quillayton, an RBI single in his last at-bat, hit the big home run in the top of the 20th.
Now, for Solano's offense today, this guy has been, the standout performer for today. He had that home run in the top of the 20th, which was a huge home run. He golfed that one. And then in the second inning of this game, he had an RBI single, I should say. But he smoked that one down the left field line, too.
Yeah, he's in the zone right now. He's feeling comfortable in the box. Ball with the pickoff. Crosby back standing up, minimal lead. So now we got the professor, Greg Poff, up on the camera. Big smile on his face like a little kid. He must be having fun out there. This one hit just on the other side of the third base bag.
You know, it seems to me that this kid's more of a natural pull hitter. Everything I've really seen him, he's going to left field. If I was pitching in this standpoint, I'd try to work him away, make him go the opposite field, and make him beat you.
Especially after hitting a home run in the 20th. He's going to probably still try and pull if you're painting that outside corner. And he took a little off, curve in the dirt. Quillayton lays off. Count now 2-2, 2 outs. Crosby over at first. Falcons up 6-5, bottom of the 4th.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised if I see a curveball right here.
Throw over to first. Crosby, head first, slide back in safely. Two. This one hit the other way, so they did exactly what you said, and Quillayton does an outstanding job just going with the pitch, hits it opposite way. So, little 2-out rally here for the Falcons. Runners now on first and second.
That was a good piece of hitting right there. You know, like I was just saying, he likes to pull the ball. I wanted to see him go opposite field, and hey, they threw him the outside pitch, and he went with it. And that's textbook hitting right there.
And now that brings up the dangerous Tucker Bishop, one of the highly touted high school kids coming out of Benicia. Decided to come to Solano, stay kind of local. Perfect opportunity with Crosby at second, Justin Quillayton at first. 2 down. Bishop ripped a triple in his last at-bat for an RBI. Reached on a walk in the first, so 1 for 1 here today.
Yeah, this kid, he plays with a lot of intensity, a lot of emotion, as we saw earlier. When he hit that big triple, he hopped up, and he was fired up. His whole team was fired up. When they finished the last game, you know, he did a little stomp on the bag that a lot of the DVC players didn't like it, but, you know, that's just emotion right there. It comes out when you're in a big situation.
And, you know,
like
any
that.
competitive sport, it's going to be very emotional. 2-0. Rip foul just over our heads down the first base side. So the count 2-1 to Tucker Bishop.
Man, you couldn't ask for a better day to play today. Nice little cool breeze heading out to left center field. Sunset coming down, and what a great day for baseball.
I'm just glad the sun's finally coming down. That sun was scorching on the back of my neck. 2-1, a little low, maybe a little inside. So the count 3-1. Nick Spini on deck.
Tucker Bishop should be very cautious here. You know, let's see a pitch. If it's a pitch he can hit, drive it. Otherwise, you know, don't be afraid to take a walk and let one of your better power hitters and Nick Spini step up to the plate.
3-1 fastball, so they walk Bishop. Base is now loaded for Nick Spini. And Nick Spini was the one guy that had some pop for Solano last year. They only had 3 home runs as a team. Spini had 2 of them, and he only played in 16 games for Solano, so he missed 20 games with the wrist injury last season.
You know, I've had a pleasure of knowing Nick Spini most of my life. You know, played a lot of baseball with him, and one thing I can say about that guy is he doesn't shut up.
I was about to say, that was going to be my guess.
You know, he likes to talk a lot, but, man, when you're out there, you know, he's out in the field and he's chirping at you, he throws you off your game a little bit.
You got you, right?
Yeah.
0-1. Tried to golf that one. Nice curveball. Just got a piece. The count 0-2.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, you know, he's a good overall hitter, but when he's going to swing and try to hit one over the fence, he's swinging out of his shoes. He's putting everything he can behind that swing. He missed a lot of time last year with that wrist injury.
And that hurt Solano down the stretch. They're finally getting on track, and then Spini goes down with the wrist injury, and Solano missed the playoffs by a game. Nice cut. A little late. Fouled it straight back.
Well, hopefully this team this year can stay healthy and, you know, work as a team and hopefully get back in the playoffs this year and see what type of run they can put together.
Because they got a nice mixture of sophomores and freshmen as Spini hits this one up the middle, right at the second baseman. Latner. Strong throw to first. Nice stretch by Devin Alexander. So the Falcons leave the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 4th. Don't get a run on the board. 6-5. Solano leads after 4. Top of the 5th. The big boys coming up here for DVC. The cleanup hitter, Devin Alexander, leading off. Mike Berdar and Luke Van Holten due up second and third.
Hey, this kid, Devin Alexander, he's not a type of guy you want at the plate in a big situation. This kid just looks like he's full of power. You know, if you want to throw him a fastball on the inside, I think he can turn on one and take it right out of this ballpark.
I mean, he's a big kid, 6'3", 210.
Hey, and he's pretty good on defense himself. We saw him make a couple great plays over there at first base. I mean, he's an overall player. He's a little bigger, but he's got a little.
You got to love that though. If you're in the infield, I mean, you can basically throw it anywhere. He's gonna come up. He's gonna grab it. 0-2 from Anderson, a little low. So the count now 1-2, and Devin Alexander 1 for 2 on the afternoon.
Yeah, Ryan Anderson, another kid I got to play with for a long time. I was a closer for him. I know every day that he pitched, I just sit there till the 7th inning and wait for him to be done, and hey, then there goes my turn.
And this one goes right between the legs of Danny Mills, E6. So Devin Alexander reaches safely on the air. So you pitched.
Mm-hmm.
What's the mindset there? You see a guy give up an error.
It kind of depletes most pitchers. When an error happens, it kind of puts them down, especially a game like this where you've been struggling a little bit. But you know what? You just gotta have a easy memory to erase. Quick memory, because you can't let that bother. You gotta focus on this next pitch. You gotta live pitch by pitch. You have to control every situation that you can control. Don't let your teammates pull you out of the game. Play your game, and you will do fine. And
Ryan Anderson.
Yeah.
Is that how he handles that too? Kind
of.
Yeah.
He just forget. He forgets real quick, and he doesn't let anybody pulls you down. If you make the error, he's the first one in the dugout giving you a high five saying, don't worry about it, I'll get you out of it. That's why, I love playing behind him also in the field. If he's struggling, if I want to make that extra play for him. He's that type of guy. He motivates you to play better and strive to win. He is a huge competitor. Can't say enough about the guy.
And Anderson down in the count, 2-0 to Mike Berdar showing bunt. Pulls it back, catches enough part of the plate for strike one. And that's the one thing you got to love with community college baseball. You always see a ton of small ball advancing runners.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see that a lot now in the Major League game. You might a little bit in the National League West, of course, up here in the Bay. But you got to kind of love this old school type of baseball as Anderson catches the outside corner there to even up the count, 2-2.
There's a reason why baseball is played this way. It's because before the steroid era, every team played this way. Now teams rely so much on the long ball that they forget about the small fundamental things by sacrificing a base runner over or squeezing, even to get a run in. But teams don't think of that mind anyway, and it's a sad. But look what the San Francisco Giants were to accomplish in this 2012 season. In 2010, they play as a team. They play small ball, fundamental ball. They're not going to put up the 10, 15 runs like most of these long ball teams do, but hey, they'll squeak out a one-run game any day, and they'll beat you by that one run every single time.
3-2 outside, so a walk issued by Anderson, his 4th walk on the afternoon, something you don't see from Ryan Anderson.
Yeah.
The kid had 13 walks the entire year last season.
That's one thing I can't say. The guy does not walk a lot of people, but when he does, he starts coming undone just a little bit. He just needs to find that focus and center. He needs to have his teammates come around him, give him a little pep talk, a little tap on the butt, and send him on his way.
You think he's just trying to do a little too much once he gives up that first walk? He's overthrown a little bit?
Yeah, you see his defense faltering a little bit. They're not making all the routine plays or the big plays that he needs. I just feel that he doesn't have a lot of confidence in this young defense that he has playing behind him. That will come over time throughout the season that will pull into the playoffs. But in the early season, that's something that Stover really needs to address in their team meetings.
So he's ahead on Luke Van Holten, 0-1. Van Holten pulled the bunt back the first try, gets this one up, and Eric Olson was going to try and make a play, but that's a play maybe Brasher, more athletic defensive catcher, might have had a chance at make it, but not the big Eric Olson.
Yeah, he's a big target back there, but he doesn't get around too well.
We saw him trying to leg out that infield single earlier. Not the fastest wheels, but doing a good job here, backing up. Brasher's getting the day off. 0-2, Anderson challenges him, swing and a miss. First time he's retired Van Holten, who's now 2 for 3. Big strikeout for Anderson. 7 on the afternoon for Ryan Anderson now. So 7 strikeouts, 4 walks. Pitch count very high for Anderson. And that is going to be all she wrote for Ryan Anderson. So you can see the eyes widen in the DVC dugout. These guys are happy Ryan Anderson's out of the game.
Yeah, that's a smart move by Stover right there. Anderson didn't bring his best stuff to the mound today, but his defense didn't really help him out getting out of some key situations. I would have liked to see Ryan go 6-7 innings there for the Solano Falcons, but just wasn't his day. First good outing, though. He still walks away with the lead. He's not going to get the loss. How many strikeouts did he have?
7 strikeouts.
He had 7 strikeouts on that. That's a pretty solid first outing. he walked one too many people that he would have liked to. You know what you were saying earlier about trying to get his walk ratio down, walk to strikeout ratio. But hey, the kid will come back. He'll have a good week of practice. He'll be ready for his next start.
So the new pitcher, you don't hear this too often. Ryan Ernest, Columbine High School.
Oh,
How
wow.
bizarre is that?
Wow.
Kid played his high school ball at Columbine, and one of the better pitchers in high school baseball. Went 5-1 last year. ERA at 1.32. Went 37 innings, 5 starts, 8 appearances. Had a 41 to 18 strikeout to walk ratio. The one problem with Ernest, though, a very erratic pitcher. Had 10 wild pitches in 37 innings last season. But the kid's got some nasty stuff. 147 opponent average last year against Ryan Ernest, Columbine High School, the lefty. Kid throws hard, has a lot of off-speed stuff, kind of sidearm delivery.
You know, with those sidearm deliveries coming from an over-the-top thrower like Ryan Anderson is, you know, once you see Ryan a couple of times, you can really pick up his location, but the way he can maneuver his ball movement and his off-speed pitch, you know, that's what really throws people off with Anderson. But with a sidearm pitcher like this, it takes a couple more at-bats than just an over-top pitcher by reading that release point and seeing the seams if it's going to be a curveball or a slider or not.
Yeah, a lot harder to kind of get a read on the sidearms off-speed stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a lot harder. Because, you know, a guy coming over the top, you can pick up the seams real quick and you can see the movement. With a guy coming from the side like this, it just takes that little half a second that, you know, every hitter needs to be able to read that ball.
Nick Gavello, 1 for 2 on the afternoon. RBI ground out in his first at-bat. Reached on a single in the 4th. Takes the first pitch, strike 1 right at the knees. So what's it like coming out of the bullpen, though, when you got runners on first and second? Do you look at it any differently? Or?
Bullpen pitchers are definitely the key to any successful baseball team. Because you need to
look at the Giants.
Yeah, look at the Giants, exactly.
This one, hit to short. Danny Mills can't get there. Torres kicks it out and left. And there might be a play at home still, and he comes around to score. The big Devin Anderson ties this one up 6-6, and kind of bad base running, and finally took off after Torres muffed it and left and able to score.
See, that's something as a relief pitcher you do not want to happen. Your second pitch coming into this game, you know, you have a runner on first and second, and you give up a little bleeder like that. That's something that's not a desired opening to this. But now you know what, you have to buckle down, calm down. Okay, it's just a game. Focus on your catcher and just play some catch.
Tyler Basker rips this one right up the middle. Tolbert kind of muffs it a bit. They're going to wave him around. Crosby cuts it off, throws it home. Tag applied, and he is out at home. Second out. Excellent job by Crosby to cut that one off and throw a perfect throw to Eric Olson, and a good job by Olson of blocking the plate.
And that's when that big target comes into play. Right? He can take up that whole play. He's like a hockey goalie back there.
And even nowadays, the catcher's masks are exactly the same as the hockey mask.
Mm-hmm.
So a nice job by Tolbert to get that one in. Crosby, perfect throw to home.
Michael Latner. Wonder if he's related to Christian Laettner. The famous Twilight series guy.
Right.
For all those ladies listening.
Exactly. Count 1-0 to Latner, 1 for 1. Had a double in the 3rd, RBI, walk in the 4th. That doesn't happen too often, especially when you're facing Ryan Anderson. 1-0, low, count 2-0 with runners on second and first. We're all tied up 6-6 here in the top of the 5th.
You know, another factor that really comes into some relief pitchers, you know, they really can hear their surroundings. They feed off that type of energy. But when you have the other team chirping at you and you're a little rattled, it does take a little bit of toll on you. That's when you're hoping that leadership on your team really comes out. It comes to you and say, hey, don't worry about them, and calm you down, and let's get out of this inning and go and hit and take the lead back.
And definitely don't want to walk the number 9 hitter. The 3-0 just catches the inside corner, so the count 3-1.
He was excited to go down to first. If I was me, I would be standing in the box waiting to hit something right now, become a hero for the team.
You want that RBI, right?
Yeah. They say walk's just as good as a hit. Not in this situation.
Now you got runner on second in scoring position. "3-1", just a little low, so now he gets to have his joyful walk to first. Base is now loaded. Back to the top of the order with Cameron Rowland. And Cameron Rowland struck out in his first 2 at-bats, but did get an RBI single in his last at-bat, and he's happy Ryan Anderson's out of the game. But looking at this DVC lineup, they've got 6 hits from the bottom 4 guys in the order. Always nice when the bottom of the order helps out. This one almost got away from Olsen, but not far enough. That would allow Gavello to score from third. So Nick Gavello on third, Tyler Basker on second, Mike Latner at first. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Ryan Ernest, the lefty from Columbine High School, on the hill.
You know, he's just trying to push the ball in. You know, he's trying to throw the strike, and he's a little rattled, and he's just forcing it too much. He just needs to take a deep breath, just rear back and throw, and play his game. Just like that.
1-0.
Perfect throw.
Perfect pitch, count 1-1.
Hopefully they'll give him back a little confidence in this next pitch here.
Yeah, because this inning could sure, the wheels could come off here in this inning. This is a big situation for Ernest and also for DVC. Fouls this one just right in front of Olsen, the catcher. So Ernest 1 strike away from leaving the bases loaded here in the top of the 5th.
You know, they're not just fighting innings and at-bats and outs right now. They're also fighting the time and the sun going down, you know.
It's already nearly 5 o'clock. The sun's going to start going down even more here quickly in the next 30 minutes. And I know they don't want to resume tomorrow, right?
Yeah, you know, what's it, after 5 innings, the game will stop, no more innings?
Strike 3 looking as Ernest gets the call. Freezes Cameron Rowland. He struck out 3 times, but DVC does get a run on the board here in the top of the 5th, 6-6. Head into the bottom half. Giovanni Torres steps in to lead off here, bottom of the 5th. We've got another new pitcher as Torres. It's been crazy, but Torres batting in the number 7 spot.
Okay.
He'll be followed by Danny Mills and Eric Olsen to round out the bottom half of the order here in the 5th. Ricky Delgado, the new pitcher for the DVC. Cody Bald, an outstanding job, came in, pitched 2 innings of no-run ball. The 0-1 inside corner, strike 2 to Torres.
So back to what you were asking about relief pitching, the hardest thing. You know, this is another thing, coming into the game fresh, you know. But establishing the strike zone early is the key to any pitching success. He came out here, throw 2 low fastballs in the outside corner, paint in the corner, just dropped a curveball in there. You know, he has a hitter fooled right now. He has no idea what's coming at him.
1-2 low. Nice take by Torres. Count now 2-2. And, of course, Giovanni Torres, his older brother, Christian Torres, played at Solano 1 year under Stover and played in that crazy 11-10 loss to DVC. This one hit weakly. Pitcher Delgado muffs it. Shortstop does the same thing. Mike Berdar. I'm not sure if Berdar had a play, even if he comes up with that barehanded.
You know what? I call that an infield hit right there. That's a swinging bunt. But with Torres over there, he's got wheels just like his brother Christian. You know, they're pretty quick on the base pass. They'll get up and down very quick. And they, just like his brother, has a great glove in the outfield.
As we saw earlier,
yes.
Torres made that great play in left to end the inning.
Maybe not the strongest arm in the outfield, but hey, he'll make a play for you every time.
Mills gets the bunt down. Muffed. Mills out at first by a hair. Ryan Cochin, nice play to stay with it after muffing it to begin with. Strong throw, gets the out. Danny Mills does his job, gets Torres into scoring position. Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter maybe. Actually, Stover's just having a little chat as Eric Olsen stays in the game.
Oh, I think he's commenting on how the pitcher's not coming set because I've been noticing he comes up and just rolls right through and trying to quick pitch. So he's bringing it to the umpire's attention, maybe get a balk called here in this inning if the pitcher doesn't make an adjustment.
Eric Olsen swings at the first pitch. Would have been ball 1.
Oh, man, that looked like he was trying to cut down a tree with that swing.
Right?
If he gets a hold of one, there's nothing that's going to hold this ball in the park today.
0-1, a little inside, takes for ball 1, and Olsen played high school ball with Tucker Bishop at Benicia High.
You know, there's a lot of good players that come out of the Benicia High program. They, you know, every year they come out with a couple good, outstanding players that have a good long career into the college, and a couple of them in the minor leagues right now too.
And Olsen could not check his swing, and we've got the best view right here.
Yeah.
Probably it's pretty obvious he was not able to check. Count 1-2. And a run right here is huge for Solano, because after 5, there's a chance that it could be called and Solano could walk away with the win. It's starting to get dark here in the next 20-30 minutes.
Hey, a lot, it's not, people call it a cheap win by not playing at all, but hey, a win's a win. And all the extra innings he already played, they already played more than enough.
Exactly, right? Yeah, this is 25th inning right now. Olsen, weakly hit to third. Nice throw by Cochin to get him at first. A heads-up play to look Torres back to second. 2 down. An important at-bat right here for Solano. If they can find a way to get Zach Wells up with the leading run in scoring position here in the bottom of the 5th. But Jordan Tolbert's got to get on base somehow. He's 0 for 2. Only time he's reached twice, once on the air in the first, and hit by a pitch in a second at-bat. Swing and a miss.
Delgado's just bringing the heat right now. That was a high fastball.
And especially just way different, taking over for Cody Ball. Cody Ball, more location, off speed. Now you got to deal with Delgado, who's just throwing the heat.
Yeah, coming off from a junk ball pitcher, bringing the heat. Smart move by Coach Dennis Lundquist.
How hard is that for a batter?
It's really hard, especially with the time and day it is, with these shadows that play tricks on the ball. The pitcher's standing in the sun, and when he releases, the ball goes from the sun to the shadow, which kind of confuses you. It's really hard to pick up the ball this time of day. Perfect example is if you play in the O.Co Coliseum where Oakland plays during the day, it's extremely hard to see.
Tolbert hits this one right to the first baseman, Devin Alexander. So Torres with the infield single, stranded at second. Through 5, we're all tied up, 6-6. So top of the 6. It's not good. Look at the scoreboard.
Hey, 666. I don't like those numbers.
Ryan Cochin, the number 2 hitter, leading off. Mike Mann, Devin Alexander, the 3-4 hitters, due up next. So the heart of the order for DVC. Also got a new outfielder in the game for Solano, Edgar Ibarra, checking in. As Torres moves from left to center. Jordan Tolbert done for the day. Ryan Ernest out. Came out in relief in the last inning, got 2 outs.
I've noticed about Ryan, he's a low ball pitcher. He'll get you a lot of ground balls, fly balls. He doesn't really leave nothing up in the zone to really get hurt with. What he's challenging these DVC hitters to do is actually get on top of these low balls and drive one and hit a line drive into the field. And so far, they haven't really been able to do that.
What's your approach as a hitter when you see a ton of low balls? Just get on the ground?
You know what? Just get on top of it and just hit it somewhere. Hit it hard on the ground, right? Make the defense make a play on these sort of situations, because you never know if you can get a bad hop or something to get you on base. Especially with a tie game in the 6th inning with the sun going down rapidly, you need a run here. You take a walk here, or you get a ground ball on the ground, make an error.
The 2-2, little inside, so the count's full. Good job by Ryan Cochin. Fell down in the count, 1-2. Is taking the next 2 pitches. Count's full. And like you said, a walk right here to lead off the inning would be huge, especially with Mike Mann and Devin Alexander coming up next, the 3 and 4 hitters. High chopper. Bishop coming in. Bad throw. Nice pick by Crosby at first.
Good dig by Crosby right there. First basemen are underrated. They make those plays look so easy, but when it comes down to it, you have to make your team look good at first base. You got to make those catches. If you miss it, it's on you. It's not on them for making a bad throw. They gave you the opportunity to make the play.
And those are the trickiest hops, because you don't know if that ball's gonna hit the grass first, right off the dirt first. Nice job by Crosby to keep his eyes on it. Great hand-eye coordination. First pitch high to Mike Mann. Still looking for his first hit. Drew a walk in the 3rd though. 0 for 2. Challenged man, swing and a miss, 1-1.
Ernest really has to buckle down here and come into the 3, 4, 5 hitters in this lineup, which is the deadliest part of this lineup for this DVC offense.
Yeah, especially if anybody gets on. You got to deal with Mike Berdar, who's 0 for 1 today, but has reached on twice because of walk.
And you can't forget about number 19, big Devin Alexander in the on-deck circle.
Arguably the best hitter in Northern California. 2-1. Ernest challenges. Man swings through it. Count 2-2. Devin Alexander 1 for 3 here today, and last year finished second in the best conference in Northern California, the Big 8, second in batting average. How do you take that pitch with 2 strikes?
You know, that's a pitch that most people don't take, but this umpire has not called any low balls like that all game. So if I'm the hitter, I'd be taking that all day. And if he makes that call, it's not consistent. You can't do nothing about that.
3-2. Fouled straight back right by the catcher. So do it all over again. And what's Ernest's mindset? Not getting those low pitches. He's a low ball pitcher.
You know, it seems like it's been really getting to him. That's why he's getting in these deep counts, these 3-2 counts, these 2-0 counts. You know, he's not getting the calls he usually gets. If he gets that call, he'll be working quick right now.
The 3-2. This one hit a mile high right center. Wells going towards center makes the easy put up, 2 down here in the top of the 6th.
Which brings up the big man. Number 19, Devin Alexander. One swing of the bat could change this ball game right here. But if Ernest can keep doing what he's doing, keep the ball down, it will really prevent Devin from poking one out of here to take the lead of this game.
He's got to come up with that little Trot Nixon golf type of swing for a home run. This one fouled straight back. Count 0-1. Alexander 1 for 3 today.
Ernest did a nice job at working inside and jamming Alexander, making sure his hands will not get out front of this ball. Making sure you can't really pull on anything right now.
How hard is it as a batter to catch up with that inside fastball right off the corner at the knees?
You know, if you're looking for it, if that's a pitch you want, then oh man, your mouth's slobbering all over it. But if you're not looking for it, if you're looking for something on the outside side of the plate, you're not going to get around on it. They're going to jam you. You're going to trickle it down the third baseline or first baseline, and most likely going to be an out.
The 1-1 hit right to Mills. Another bad throw picked up by Crosby. A little easier play for Crosby this time around through 5.5. All tied up, 6-6. Ricky Delgado out there on the hill still. Had a nice inning in the 5th. Zach Wells leading off, the number 2 hitter. Takes the first pitch inside, strike 1. And the heart of the order for Solano here. If you're Zach Wells, you're just trying to go with the pitch here, get on any way. Any way
possible. You know, you always want to give your big bats a chance to either take the lead, or hit a home run or do something like that.
Nice job, Berdar. Fields it cleanly. Strong throw to first. 1 up, 1 down with Alex Crosby now coming up. Zach Wells hitless so far today. Did have 2 sack bunts in his first 2 at-bats, and now back-to-back ground out, 6-3.
Crosby has a 2-hit game today.
Takes first pitch low, ball 1, and if you want to talk about a guy that's hits for power, hits for average, Alex Crosby's the best hitter for Solano. Zach Wells probably the best contact hitter for the Falcons. Talk about overall, all around, Crosby's probably the guy.
That's probably what earned him hitting his 3-hole. You know, the 3-hole, you're looking for the best overall hitter. You don't want the guy with the most. I mean, you would like to have a guy with a lot of power in the 3-hole, don't get me wrong, but, you really save the power for the 4 or 5-hole because it's 3-hole, 2 3-hitters usually get on base, and 3-hole guys, those are the guys, they're just spark plugs for your team. If they go, the whole team goes.
Count now 2-2 after Crosby fouled that one. Straight back, Weekly. Ricky Delgado's coming in, throwing hard.
Keeping these hot Falcons bats at bay.
The 2-2 hit down the third base line and just on the opposite side of third base backs. Count stays 2-2.
That was a perfect 2-strike approach by Alex Crosby right there. He realizes the ball is a little bit outside the plate. He knew he was swinging. He flung his hands out there and kicked the ball foul to get him warmer pitch to see what he can do with it here.
So 6-6, bottom of the 6th inning. 1 out, 2-2 pitch. Crosby hits this one down the third base line.
He wanted that too. He loaded up and was waiting back for that curve. He was slobbering all over it, just couldn't get around on it.
Tommy Favasi having the time of his life over there, coaching down the third base line. Fielded that one with his foot. 2-2, low, counts full.
You know, Alex Crosby, like you were saying, is a good overall hitter, but you know what? You haven't said yet. He has a great plate presence, but he's dictating on where this pitcher's going to throw him his pitches right now. He has a good eye. He's saying, okay, you're not going to get anything past me. Give me something to hit, or I'm going to take the walk.
3-2, hit up the box. Nice play by Bedard. Throws this one away. Nice job by Alexander to come up with it. A hard attempt by Bedard. And he had a little more time if he wanted to make a stronger throw, but he knows Crosby's got some speed going down the first base side, and good job by Alexander to get off the bag and make sure Crosby doesn't advance into scoring position.
You know, in the bottom of the sixth, tie game with 1 out, runner on first, even though your 4-hitter is up, who is the best hitter of today. I mean, he had a home run in the 20th inning in the last game, you know, but what I would like, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Stover calls a hit and run right now.
Might as well, especially with the sun going down. This game might get called from the bottom of the sixth.
You know, see if you can catch one of the infielders napping, not realizing what rotation they're going to be running. Maybe he's out of position. The ball that normally would be grounded would be going through a hole.
And he's got 2 big wide open spots on the left side and the right side. DVC playing double play death right now, so he's got a big little hole between first and second and short and third. This one fouled straight back off the net. Nice barehanded grab right there.
Jacob Peters.
And Jacob Peters, he wore that arm out pitching in that 20-inning game. No ill effects with the gold hand right there. He's going to be smiling for another inning or so. 2-1, high and tight inside, count 3-1. He's going to live to tell his grandkids about the great catch he made at Billy and Ulysses Yarborough Stadium.
On the day before the Super Bowl.
Right? 3-1, Colayton smokes this one. Fair ball down the right field line. Crosby past second. Michael Mann gets to it quickly, and they're going to hold Crosby at third. Nice job by Mann to get to the ball quickly out and right. That one went all the way to the fence, so runners now on second and third. What do you do right here with Tucker Bishop coming up? You got to pitch to the kid. It's a second career game. You can't walk a kid that's only played one game.
He came up with that big triple earlier in the game, but you know what? They have a different pitcher in now. The coach is going to go out there and talk about how they're going to face him. What I would do personally is I would pitch this kid outside. Make sure, you know, if it's going to be a strike, it's barely a strike. Yeah, first base open with 1 out. It won't hurt you to have him go to first base. Opens up a double play opportunity to get out of the inning.
And you get a look at Tucker Bishop right there. Maybe 5'5" on a good day. I mean, Stover just towers over him as Matt North out meeting with Ricky Delgado on the hill. And Matt North, the pitching coach for DVC. He was actually drafted in the 2006 first-year player draft in the 9th round, I believe by the St. Louis Cardinals. So goes out, has a little chat with Delgado, and definitely about to find out on this first pitch if we're going to attack this guy or we're going to kind of pitch around him. I mean, I walk the guy.
You have Speeney coming up behind him, which is probably Solano's best power hitter.
Exactly. He just got to hit one of the outfield.
Exactly. With 1 out, if you put him on, you know, that's a pop fly, it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. So
infield playing in. So it looks like they're going to pitch to Tucker Bishop. 2 walks and an RBI triple here today. Takes first pitch outside.
All Bishop has to do is just make contact with the ball, make something happen. The only thing he does not want to do is a strikeout. Strikeout's the only thing that could really cost the Falcons huge momentum right here.
Bishop only struck out 8 times the entire year, senior year. High, weak pop up. Left field, this one drops. Crosby's going to come in and score. So everything worked out perfectly for Solano there as that ball had eyes, found a hole as the left fielder could not get there in time. Nick Gavello tried to come up and make the play, and the shortstop, Berdard, neither one could get there in time, and that's part of the game, right? Sometimes the ball just finds a place.
What better person to have at the plate right now than Nick Speeney for this Falcons offense? You know, playing with the kid, he thrives for these sort of situations. He likes having the games put on his shoulders.
He was trying to hit a home run with that cut right there, swing and a miss, just a little under it. Hey, this is a good match. We get to watch power versus power right here with Delgado throwing. Righty on righty matchup.
Righty on lefty.
Oh, my mistake.
Help you out there.
That one just a little outside, so the count now 1-1 to Speeney.
You know, if I was Delgado here, I'd just keep pitch Speeney away. Don't let him turn on anything.
High chopper. Berdard steps on the bag, throws to first for the double play, but the Falcons do get a run on the board after the RBI single for Tucker Bishop. Now 2 RBIs on the afternoon. 7-6, Solano heading to the 7th. Falcons go to the bullpen once again. The big righty, Kyle Stafford from Pleasant Grove High, coming in to pitch. Ryan Ernest did a pretty good job. 1 2/3. No runs allowed for Ryan Ernest.
Looks like we have another low ball thrower here in Stafford. Which
Mike Berdar, the number 5 hitter, leading off here with Luke Van Holten and Nick Gavello due up next.
Yeah, with his umpires, he is not calling any of these low strikes, and it's really taking Solano's pitching staff out of the game.
2-0, a little inside, so the count 3-0. And what's the one thing you don't want to do when you come in after your team just took a 1-run lead?
Give up a leadoff walk.
Exactly.
That is the worst thing you could possibly do.
3-0 from Stafford. Just barely catches the inside corner. The home plate ump gave him a break there.
If Berdar wasn't 2 steps down the line, I think he would have got that call there. Umpires don't like when you try to dictate their calls to them.
3-1, same spot, same result.
That's the same exact spot. If you gave it to him once, you can give it to him again. You got to look out for that spot.
Now, if I'm a DVC hitter, I mean, the inside corner's been what Solano pitching's been all about here today. 3-2. This one ripped down the third base line. Foul.
Trying to come back in with that inside fastball. Since he's getting that call, might as well go back to it. He looked at 2 straight inside pitches right there.
So this very well could be the last inning. We're approaching 5:30. The sun's going down. Stafford, 3-2. And he's catching up to it a little bit, just a little early. Pulling this one foul.
As the sun's going down here, the air's getting a little thinner, a little cooler. The ball's starting to travel a little more. You can really hear it. We have a beautiful sunset. And what a great day for baseball. I'm so glad baseball is back.
The 3-2. This one hit to Wells and right. Easy play. 1 up, 1 down for Kyle Stafford. And, of course, you're an A's fan.
Yes.
So I know you're looking forward to this year.
Man.
What a surprise last year for the Oakland Athletics. Not only just to make the playoffs, but to somehow come back and win the AL West, sweep Texas in those final 3.
Yeah, I had the privilege, Zach, to be at game 162. And I just remember when Hamilton dropped that ball. I've never heard a better sound in that Coliseum.
That place was going nuts, man.
Oh, it was going crazy. Not to mention, I caught a little beer off Johnny Gomes spraying the crowd over there.
How was that?
Oh, it was awesome. I tried to take a drink.
You gonna miss him this year?
You know what? That's a presence I'm gonna miss on the Oakland A's roster this year.
You guys have like 10 outfielders. So.
Yeah. Hey, but I'll take Chris Young from Arizona.
He's young, talented. He still is not close to reaching his potential. He's got some pop. 0-1. Nice pitch by Stafford. Now ahead in the count, 0-2.
I think Stafford will come back right here with maybe a little off-speed pitch in the dirt, get him to chase something. You're so far ahead, might as well waste a pitch here.
Van Holt. And if I'm Mike Berdar right there, I am upset because those were the 2 same pitches that got called strike on 3-0 and 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
And Van Holten takes it up in the count 0-2. The 1-2 from Stafford. Van Holten staying alive to see another pitch, and Van Holten's done a good job coming in, filling in for Michael Leal, the original catcher, but got the day off after 20 innings. And Luke Van Holten 2 for 3 today. And also 2 back in for Solano is the original catcher, 2 Aaron Brasher. And also in the game Edgar Barr's been in the game, and also David Fernandez in at short.
A little dink.
Strike 3, curveball, excellent pitch by Stafford, and nothing Van Holten can do but stare and watch. So 2 down here in the 7th.
Stafford just said, hey, there's a pitch. Go grab some pine, meat.
Going the Kipe and Crew route, right? Nick Gavello, 2 for 3. Trying to extend the inning. Stafford, 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the 7th. Count 1-0. And I can almost guarantee this will be the last inning if
Just
This
a matter.
one smoked down the left field line. Gavello thinking 2. And hard turn past first, but he's going to go back. Excellent job by Edgar Ibarra to get there quickly out and left.
You know, just from this top inning, you know, we've really seen the sun just start to drop. As I'm looking out over those hills, you can really see how the shade's starting to swoop in, and it's getting really dark. I think you're right. I think this is going to be the last inning of this game. Looks like we have a pinch runner in the game. Number 10, Marquise Cox, coming in to pinch run for number 11, Nick Gavillo.
There you go. Bam. Also got a pinch hitter coming in, Kevin Spence. Big number 28. Tyler Basker was 1 for 3. He's relieved. And in 1 at bat, Spence went 0 for 1 yesterday. The big outfielder for DVC, 5'11", 205. Stafford, the righty. Spence, the left-handed batter. Takes first pitch, outside corner, strike 1. I think this umpire's ready to get out of here, too.
Yep. I think the strike zone's starting to expand a little bit, and he's saying, hey, hit the ball. I want to go home. You got to start prepping my meat for tomorrow.
Right? Spence able to check. Pitch a little outside, count 1-1. Spence digging that back foot in. 1-1. Swing and a miss. And Stafford, like he said, he's been keeping it low since he came in here in the 7th.
You know, the umpire hasn't been calling that strike today, but DVC should have been swinging at it. You know, keep it low, you won't get hurt.
The 1-2 from Stafford. This one hit up the middle. This one's got a chance to get to the gap. Torres muffs it, and this is going to tie the game up. Marquise Cox going to come around and tie this one up, 7-7 here in the top half of the 7th. No quit in this DVC squad.
Now, how would you score that, Zach? I'm scoring that as a single and an error on the center fielder.
That's exactly how I would score it, too. I mean, there's no way that runner should have scored from first base on that play.
Even though he does have plus speed, I don't think that if the center fielder over there could have cut that ball off that he would ever score it.
And Torres, usually a sure-handed center fielder, started this game originally in left, moved over to center.
You know, maybe the darkness had something to play into it. You know, it's the ball's getting a little darker to see. He sees it coming in and running at full speed. Gotta give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure Stover won't.
Right? First pitch way high and outside. Good job by Brasher to keep that one from going to the backstop as Mike Latner, the number 9 hitter. 1 for 1 to date, a double and 2 walks.
Now Stafford right now just needs to take a deep breath, saying, "Hey, it's just a tie ball game. Let's get back in the dugout, give the offense an opportunity to get me back in this ball game, pick me up, and let's do it. Let's get this victory."
So a little 2-out rally for DVC. 1-0 low inside, count 2-0. So it's been a long, long day of baseball here. They started the first game, resumed it in 11th. Started at 12, and now it's approaching 5:30.
Smart move by Stafford. Always finish the pitch.
That's how you can result in an injury or.
Well, that happened to Felix Hernandez, didn't it? Not last season or 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Just the start and stop. Took it off for a couple weeks. For all the young ball players listening, you know, if somebody calls timeout and you wind up, go ahead and finish the pitch. Because a lot of times umpires will not give him that timeout.
2-0. Catches the lower part of the plate.
That's
Mike Latner didn't think so.
Hey, that's something the umpire hasn't been calling all day. But once again, he's hungry. He wants to go home.
So DVC. Dugout getting loud. We've already tied it up, 7-7. Leading run at second. This one poked foul. So 2 strikes.
Good job by Stafford by digging deep here and getting those 2 strikes and making it back a 2-2 count with 2 outs. You know, right? He just needs one more pitch and he's out of this inning. One pitch will make him break this right now.
Spence at second, leading run, 2 outs, 2-2 pitch from Stafford. Curveball, low. Hard take for Mike Latner, but
you know, I think it crossed him as a strike, but where the catcher, he didn't frame it well enough to get that call. I don't know. That looked like a ring him up to me, but
that's a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. The 3-2, just outside. So Mike Latner takes 2 very close pitches, draws the walk.
You know, that looked very close to those pitchers that he was calling earlier in this inning that were being called strikes on, who was it? Bedard.
Yeah, Mike Bedard. He's got to be upset. I mean, he's like, hey, Blue, I mean, I should be the 8th run right now. So Stover coming out.
He's 31.
Cameron Rowland, the leadoff hitter, 1 for 4. Got a chance to give the Vikings a lead here in the top of the 7th. Stover, quick chat with Kyle Stafford. You're getting a look at him right there on the camera.
Yeah, he's got to do a quick chat right now with the way the sun's dropping. We got to be able to finish this game, this inning at least.
Because now Solano's got to get a chance in the bottom half of the 7th, especially if DVC takes 8-7 lead.
Mm-hmm. It appears in DVC's dugout they all have their hands up, cheering on their teammates.
Well, they got yelled at last game for not cheering loud enough, so. Stafford comes, first pitch low and outside, ball 1. Cameron Rowland has struck out 3 times and had an RBI single in the 4th. One 1-0 and foul. Right down the right side. So it's 5:30 right on the dot. Just a beautiful night, though. You got the perfect sunset with the sun going down. Perfect day here at Billy and Luis Yarbrough Stadium. Pickoff attempt and a better throw and a quicker throw would have had him there, but Spence gets back easily.
I think the throw got there before he did. He just needed that little bit more of accuracy down. He would have had him.
One from Stafford, just outside. So the count 2-1, and Stafford started this inning out perfectly. Retired Bedard and then Van Holten in order. Then Gavello got the 2-out single. Spence came up with the big pinch hit. A little bit of trouble for Torres in center, allowed Gavello to score. 7-7. Stafford gets him picked off at second. Perfect move by Stafford. And it was close to a balk. He did look like he came home first, but no call by the umpire, and he gets picked off at second base. 7-7 going into the bottom half of the inning. All right, I wasn't sure if we were going to come back for the bottom of the 7th, but I think this will be the last half inning. Delgado still out on the hill. First pitch strike to Torres.
Yeah, these guys are going to have to work quick in order to get this half inning in.
Giovanni Torres takes the 0-1 for ball 1.
You know, Gio mishandled that ball out in center field, which caused DVC to tie this game. Let's see if he can come up with a big hit here and spark these Falcons to win this game.
Torres smokes this one left field, and this one's going to stay foul. Well, he did get a nice cut.
Yeah.
Smoked the ball, and probably not going to see much pop from Torres down the road. He had 1 home run as a senior. Still, I'm going to take a guess and say it was in the park home run, though.
Yeah, it's probably playing at one of those high schools that aren't fortunate enough to have a real ball field. They don't have fencing in the back.
1-2, just misses. Count now 2-2. Delgado thought he had him.
DVC dugout thinks they had him too. They're chirping away at the umpire.
I'm not going to lie, I thought he had him too. 2-2. Fastball. This one hit the left. This one's got a chance. And Cox could not make the play. Torres thinking 3. Hard turn past second, and he's going to try for it. Head first, and he is in safely with the lead-off triple. as Marquise Cox had a little bit of trouble out and left, couldn't field it cleanly after he dove into the fence, and heads up base running by Gio Torres. I was thinking, don't get that first out at third, but he got there safely, so it doesn't matter.
You know what? He did a nice. I think he was thinking 3 all the way. As soon as he hit first base, saw the left fielder bobble the ball. As he's rounding second, he hesitated for a half a second on not going. But then he saw the shortstop wasn't in the right cutoff position, dropped the ball, which allowed him to go safely ahead first in the third.
Now you got David Fernandez coming in, who replaced Danny Mills in the last inning defensively, and I think a squeeze here maybe.
You know, coming from Stover, I wouldn't be surprised. But, you know, David came off that last game. He struggled at the plate a little bit, had a couple errors. Maybe, you know, he's due. Look at Torres. Torres made that big error to cost him the lead, but, hey, he hit some leadoff.
You called it right on the money, dude.
Came back up with a big hit. Timely hitting wins ball games.
So David Fernandez, kind of the old school double striped socks, pulled up high.
You know, I call David Mr. Cool. It's another guy's a fortunate guy I got to play with my playing career. You know what, Mr. Cool, he never lets anything bother him, always with a smile on his face, nonchalant, goes about the dugout, a great teammate. Hey, what better person to have up here right now?
Fernandez batted .364 his senior year in 2011. And he just knows he's got to get contact. Fouls this one straight back. Count now 1-1. And like you mentioned, I think this is a guy Stover feels comfortable having up. I know he's a freshman, but
hey, Stover talks very highly of David Fernandez, the young shortstop. It reminds him a lot of Patrick Bubba Johnson that was here not too long ago.
If you're comparing him to Bubba, I mean, Bubba Johnson's probably the best shortstop ever come
arguably,
through Solano. One of them.
Because I'd have to say Ethan Gibbons.
Yeah,
about E.
He played a little more pitching, though.
Yeah, he
not
did
as
pitch
much
a little
shortstop.
bit more. I see. I grew up with Ethan back in the day when he was the dynamo shortstop, and Bubba and him used to cut it, duke it out all the time.
They probably had. I mean, those are two very competitive guys right there. Ethan Gibbons. I mean, pitching for Solano was absolute money.
You know, but just being able to categorize yourself with those two ball players, I mean, that's huge. If Stover has enough confidence, and look, a 3-0 count.
So the walk for Fernandez. You walk another guy here, just load the bases, get the force out at home.
I wouldn't. You know what? I wouldn't do it. That's just me because you got your 8-hitter or your 9-hitter up right now.
Aaron Brasher, who checked in for
Eric
Olson.
Yeah, with all these eraser marks and checks and minuses right? on these, I don't know who's up.
Hey, we've been doing this through the whole game, so you got to join the fun, right?
Oh yeah.
And Brasher's a guy that Stover definitely would trust to call a squeeze right here, but Stover have a little chat with the home plate ump real quick.
I think he's talking about the quick pitching again. I've noticed at this pitcher,
Ricky Delgado. 1-0 high, 2 up.
See, every time Stover comes out and he talks about this 2 quick pitching, that he's just throwing a little high. He's getting out of his rhythm, break his rhythm. You know, call a timeout if you're the batter here to break up that quick tempo. See, there you go. Messing up that tempo. Don't let a pitcher get comfortable, especially in a high-pressure situation like this. You've already given up 2 balls, runners on first and third. Potential game-winning run on third, while that leadoff triple by Torres.
2-0.
And it looks like they're pitching around him.
Count 3-0. And it looks like they're going to load the bases. And
you know, Coach Dennis Lundquist, he feels confident in his defense if he loads the bases here that they can possibly do something to win this game.
3-0. Inside. Ball 4. So, as a pitcher, though, when you're asked to kind of unintentionally walk a guy, how does that affect your location for the next batter? When you can't walk that guy anymore, the bases are loaded, you got nowhere to put him.
If my coach were to tell me to pitch around him, make sure he doesn't get anything to hit, what I would do, I'd have my catcher set up on the outside part of the plate where he can't hit it and hit that location right on the money. Make sure it's so far off the plate, but you're still hitting your locations. Don't just lob it up there like most people tend to do because you lose your rhythm.
Edgar Ibarra comes up, takes the first pitch outside, ball 1. His first at-bat of the day as he checked in when Tolbert got taken out. And Ibarra was part of that Division III San Joaquin section title. Count now 2-0 after that one misses. And Ibarra played a large role in Rodriguez winning that Division III section title. Was the corner outfielder for that Rodriguez squad, and he's hoping to get a big at-bat here, whether it's a walk, ground out, just got to get Torres home somehow. 2-0 low, count 3-0. So no way you're swinging at this pitch or the next pitch, right?
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. And when you get in this sort of situation as a pitcher, this is tough. Bases loaded. You can't find your location. It's cold. You can't see the ball that well. It's been a long day on this diamond. He just needs it's a gut check time right now. He needs to throw one over the plate because the batter's not swinging.
Ricky Delgado, no outs, bases loaded, 3-0 count, bottom of the 7th. Ibarra takes the walk, and I'm not sure if they're going to call it now with the walk-off walk win. And that is the game, folks. Solano pulls this one out 8-7. What a great first game to do for Solano College Sports Network. Our first ever broadcast with actual footage. You get a look there. The Falcons having some fun at home plate. And they open up the season 2-0. They beat DVC in 20 innings, 6-4 in the first one, and then 8-7 final called in the 7th. Solano 2-0 to start off the season. What impressed you most watching Solano here this afternoon?
Yeah, it's just their resiliency on never giving up. Even though DVC was trying to get back in the game, it seemed like the momentum was all heading DVC's way by tying that ball game up. The leadoff triple by Torres really made up for his error
half
and pushed the Falcons forward to win this ball game. With with the sun going down and everything, I think they really hung in there and struggled and fought it out. These two games are really good for this Falcons offense. Coming into the later in the season, it comes playoff time. It's a one-run ball game. That's what it comes down to, is about experience in tight situations like this that will help them excel later in the season.
I was very impressed with Ryan Ernest, along with Kyle Stafford. I know Stafford gave up that run to tie it up 7-7. A lot of that had to do with Torres misplaying the ball in center. Very impressed with the Falcons bullpen coming in. Ryan Anderson didn't have his best stuff. Bullpen helps him out a little bit. Falcons escaped 8-7 win. But the one guy I was very, very impressed with, the little guy, Tucker Bishop. I think he's going to be a guy that has a chance to maybe win BBC Player of the Year honors this year as a true freshman. Very impressed with Tucker Bishop. Also, Alex Crosby had some great at-bats. Justin Clayton had the monster home run in the first game in the 20th inning to win that one 6-4. So all around, a lot of guys stepping up for Solano.
Tucker Bishop, he is going to be an exciting player to watch this season. He brings intensity to this game and a little spark plug to this offense.
So once again, Zach Pop here.
Stosh.
Bam, baby. I didn't want to have to butcher your last name again, so it was fun doing the game with you. Big ups to our cameraman, Greg Pop, also did color commentary. Stosh also handled the business on the camera, too. Falcons win this one 8-7. Called in the 7th inning. Walk-off win for the Falcons in the 7th. Edgar Ibarra with the RBI walk for the 8th and final run. 8-7 final. Falcons 2-0 this year. DVC falls to 0-2.